Ladies and gentlemen, sim racing fans around the world, welcome to the Broadcasting Lounge. We are live and locked in for round 2 of the Supercars NZ MRP GT3 series, coming to you from the iconic Brands Hatch circuit in the UK. After a thrilling season opener, the championship battle is already heating up, and tonight the GT3 grid takes on one of the most demanding circuits on the calendar. From the dive into Paddock Hill Bend to the elevation and rhythm of the Grand Prix loop, this track is ready to challenge the very best. I'm Shane White, and joining me in the booth tonight is the ever knowledgeable and never shorted of an opinion, Corey Kitchen. How are you feeling about tonight's race?
I'm fired up, Shane. Brands Hatch always delivers drama, and with the field we've got tonight, I'm expecting elbows out from the first lap. We've got championship contenders looking to stamp their authority early, and some serious dark horses waiting to pounce. It's going to be epic, Shane. Round 2 already. Come on, let's go. Brands Hatch.
No doubt about it. Strap in, folks. This is round 2 of the MRP GT3 series, live from Brands Hatch. And that there is a look at what we've got in store tonight. Track map on the right hand side. The 2D track map not quite doing justice to the challenge of this circuit. We'll have a look at some of the elevation as we get down track side in a moment, but a look at some of the conditions there as well. 19 degrees air temperature, so relatively cool out there. Relatively clear skies, so the sun will be baking down, and it sounds like the track has been getting hotter and hotter through practice, and that will be creating a big challenge for the guys out there with that track team coming out.
Yeah, and if it wasn't hard enough with the track temperature, you got 9 quarters. And like you said before, elevation coming into that hairpin out of turn 1, coming down the hill into the hairpin is one of the spots where you can get a pass done too if you can outbrake your opponents.
Yeah, so let's look at turn 1 where the track drops away there, and then they work their way up into the Grand Prix loop, up the back of the circuit here, and up the hill and through these super high speed corners, and each one's so challenging to find the perfect line as you flick your way through those high speed right handers and then flick it back to the left to head back towards the final corner down here. But we're in the middle of qualifying. Nico Cordia currently on provisional pole position and out there trying to improve his time. Sean McNamara sitting P2, 0.13 behind. Very tight with Tinus Venter in P3 as Stefan McCartan just jumps up to the top, and at almost the exact same time Billy Van Beek dropped into P3 there. So Nico Cordia drops down to P2, Sean McNamara and Tinus Venter drop down to P4 and 5 from where they were, but those two very tight, separated by just 1/100th of a second, and Billy actually only getting ahead of Sean by 3/100ths of a second, so very tight for the last spot on the podium.
Yeah, it is. It's very tight in the top 5, all in the 121s. And it looks like Hugo Allen, he hasn't even put a lap in, so maybe just going to start off the back of the grid. He was fastest in the practice session.
Yeah, so he has, as you say, hasn't put a lap in, isn't on track, doesn't appear to have ventured out on the track in this qualifying session, so looks like his intention is to come off the back, and we'll see what his progress looks like in the race. We've got a number of guys towing back to pit lane now, feeling like they have delivered the time they're capable of doing, and they're happy with where they sit, and hopefully they'll still be happy with where they sit once time runs out. Of course, heat racing tonight, so no ability to finish your lap once that 15 minutes is up. As soon as that time's up, that'll be it.
Yep, they'll just rip you out of reality and back into the sim, into the pits. Excellent. And it looks like Stefan McCartan, he's going to have it done.
Yeah, Blake Greenhall just missing out on the top 10, just jumped up to P11 with a 122.7. I saw his name jump up there, so he's done a good job on that one.
He looks like Noah Kitcher. He must have struggled in this session. He was pretty quick in practice session, so sitting at 18th at the moment, on a lap at the moment. Got a green for the first sector. Oh, but that's time up.
It sure is, and we are getting ready to line them up on the grid now as we tick over into the race session, and we can see exactly how the grid is going to line up there, and it is Stefan McCartan on pole from Nico Cordia. Those two are going to line up together on the front row of the grid. Billy Van Beek and Sean McNamara take out the second row in behind, and then we've got Tinus Venter, Jaco Venter, Aaron Goodrick, Leith Swinney, and then rounding out the top 10 is Brett O'Keefe and Dylan Radford off the fifth row there. Blake Greenhill just misses the 10, Daniel Hedderscheid alongside him on row 6, Peter Vanderberg in 13th, Adam Hughes 14th, Wayne Hartnell 15th, Steve Darren 16th. And we've got Louis Robinson, Noah Kitchen, Brodie Scott, Dan Turner, Kristen Jenkins, James McKenzie, Bill Kilgour, Andre Elliott, Jonathan Turner, Chris Deluski, Tom McCall, Pete Rotmitz, Alan Scott, Kevin DeFunterim, Hugo
Yeah,
Allen,
I like it.
Dan Nolan.
Heath Mann off the back and Jake O'Rourke get to jump in the car, maybe starting from the pit.
Yeah, that completes our 34 car grid tonight, and they are lining up behind the Porsche safety car. Look at that beautiful formation, isn't that awesome?
Oh, it looks pretty good to me. I'm patiently waiting to let a rip Tater Chip.
Yeah, should be about 20 seconds away from rolling off behind the pace car. Stefan McCartan will be keen to take control and get to this green flag. He'll have control once the pace car dives to the pits, and then it'll be up to him where he goes. But once the green flag flies, it's all on. People can pass from the green flag. Stefan keen to get going, the pace car not quite pulling away, and Stefan nudging up towards the rear bumper, and they do roll away now.
It looks like Jaco Venter, Steve Darren have not made the grid, so be starting from pit lane maybe.
Yeah, Jake O'Rourke also missing the grid at this stage. Hopefully all those guys are able to start from the pits and we get a full 34 car field tonight. So awesome to see such big numbers in GT3 once again on a Thursday night.
Yeah, iRacing do the mahi and we get the treats here at the Broadcasting Lounge. We get to watch it. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll probably say that 100 more times through the stream, but we really do appreciate every subscription that we can get. So if you're watching, please give us a like and a sub.
Absolutely. Pace car peels off. Stefan McCartan is going to have control. They're rolling down. They're away, and we're green for GT3 at Brands Hatch. Stefan jumps out to the early lead. Everybody's spreading across, heading down into turn 1. Stefan has control. Billy Van Beek and Sean McNamara fighting over P3 on the run through turn 1 there. Down into Druids for the first time. Bit of side by side going on. All three wide there back in the pack.
Yeah, so it looks like Steve Darren and Jaco Venter did start out of pit lane, so they are out on track at the rear of the field at the moment. So that is 33 starters.
I've seen Aaron Goodrick's name dropping down, so he's had a moment out there. He's back on track now, but look at that, he's dropped all the way to the back. We'll pick up what happened there. Bit of side by side, I think Noah Kitchen on the outside there in the Likamoli car. Oh, there was a big moment for one of the Mercs there, I think. Didn't quite catch who that was. Could have been Brodie Scott. But Stefan McCartan is going to lead them around Clark Curve for the first time and complete the first lap in the lead by just under a second. Nico Cordia hanging in there. Billy Van Beek and Tinus Venter fighting it out for P3 and P4. Sean McNamara dropping a spot down into P5, but running well there.
Yeah, he's got a wee bit of air in front and behind, so he's got no pressure at the moment from BJ O'Keefe.
Christian Jenkins doing battle with Leith Swinney. Leith getting ahead for the moment into P18.
Yeah, it looks like Leith's down 11 spots where he started, so obviously an issue for Dylan Radford as well.
Yeah, and Dylan actually dropping as we speak, and he's tangled with Kevin DeFunterum there. Kevin getting back on track, but Dylan still sitting in the barrier. Looks like maybe he might be requiring a tow there. You can see heavy damage on the front end for Kevin, and that front left not pointing where he will want it. That is going to be a challenge to limp that car back to the pits. And he's actually wandered off the track. As a result, tight battle for the final step on the podium. Tinus Benzo, who's managed to climb up 2 spots to sit currently in P3, but he's got Billy Van Beek just behind him there in 4th, and Sean McNamara has been able to work his way into this battle as well. So I think these guys have been fighting, and that's just allowed Sean to creep up onto the back of Billy, and looking racy, looking keen to try and pick up a spot there.
Yeah, it's also bringing BJ O'Keefe up onto the back as well of Sean McNamara. So it's going to become a 4-way battle this for the 3rd position, isn't it, pretty much?
It is, and BJ, our Raceweek sponsor, OKMS Media and Graphics, and I think we're giving away to a random finisher of tonight's race $20 iRacing credits and a paint courtesy of OKMS.
How good. And yeah, OKMS, you can find them on Facebook, so OK Motorsport Media and Graphics, and you can get the iRacing paints done they range from 20 iRacing credits through to 100 depending on the complexity of your design. 2 iRacing credits per photo if you want to get photos done, at $10 for 10 photos, and I can tell you BJ did the photos for our men's health enduro and they turned out absolutely wicked.
They really did. I've seen some of those photos and yeah, they were fantastic. So I'm interested to see what happened to Sean at the start, so we can pick up a replay of that as they come around to the green flag. So he was sitting on the outside there, P4, second row, and green flag flies. It looks like his reaction was decent enough. And he might have just got hung out to dry on the outside there, and yeah, it looks like that allowed Tinus to get up the inside into Druids, and he got the move done. So good start from Tinus there to pull that one off.
Yeah, wee bit of action at the start, wasn't there? A few drivers have dropped right down the field, but still going.
Yeah, so this was Aaron Goodrick going off track on the first lap. I think I saw his name dropping down live, and he's actually, so I think was that I think that was Leith that had the big sideways moment into the left-hander there, and unfortunately he just tagged Aaron as a result. So that explains why both of those guys were down from where they started.
Ooh.
Oh, big moment there as we come back to live.
Billy Van Beek. Very lucky Sean McNamara not to get involved there. It was good work, Shano, just as we went back live.
Yeah, we'll pretend that was planned.
Oh, great work. great camera work. You just knew where the action was going to be around Sean McNamara. Stefan McCartan, though, at 122 flat, basically, fastest lap of the race last time by, so he is steaming it. 2.58 second gap back to Nico Cordia at the moment.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying out there. So this will tell us exactly what happened to Billy there, hopefully. Just dropping a wheel in the grass, gets the side on, and then big tank sap about the other way. And Sean actually doing a really good job to get around him there. Had to take to the grass and managed to avoid what would have been catastrophic contact at that sort of speed.
Yeah, heavy damage there would have been, and Billy Van Beek has gotten very lucky himself too. He's got away from that Billy unscathed.
Hugo Allen, after starting off the back, is up 20 positions into P11. I believe we've got a reverse top 8 for the feature race tonight, so he'll be looking to make his way at least to P8 to be able to take advantage of that, or he might even get even further than that on his current form. You've seen something there, Corey?
Yeah, it's actually an invert top 5, weirdly.
Oh, top 5 tonight.
Yeah, that was what it was last week too. I obviously didn't have the information in front of me last week, so I made it up. But 5, so that's a weird one. So there's, winner of the race starts in the middle of the top 10, I guess.
Yeah, so that could mean that top 5 is going to be Hugo's aim there. We'll see if he's able to get there or if he just misses out.
Of course, just a 15-minute for the first race and a 25-minute race for that second one too. So they're going to have to stop for fuel in the second race. They'll have enough to get home. So we should be looking for them to fuel or put fuel in around that lap 8 or something like that. Something around there. Should be able to get home.
Yeah, there'll be a few different strategies. I'm sure we'll see some people get in early to get out of traffic, and some people will go later to take advantage of maybe already been in some clear air. Certainly.
Now, I feel you're telling us this out of an experience on Tuesday. Something I noted you did on Tuesday was get out of that traffic, get your pit done, and you benefited towards the end, didn't you? You made it back up to where you started after having a bit of a sluggish start.
I wish I got back up to where I started, then I would have won the race.
Well, close enough. You got up in the top 5, and I thought that was a good effort from you. Dropped back quite dramatically after having a few moments, but that just shows the undercut, doesn't it? So that worked a ripper for race winner Ross Watson on Tuesday. So is somebody here tonight going to pull that off in the second race? Well, we'll find out. Make sure you stick around.
What I think will be different here is the fact that they probably won't do tyres in this one. A little bit different tyre model from the V8s to the GT3. The V8 tyre tends to go off quite heavily during the race, and if you can cover the tyres with fuel, which you normally can in those races, then you'll change tyres and get an advantage from it. We're here, especially with this new tyre model, and they take a few laps to get up to temperature anyway. If you change tyres, you're going to have to restart that, and I don't think these races will cover tyres on fuel anyway, especially because in these GT3s you can only do one tyre at a time.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. So nobody's really going to do that. I bet you somebody does. Somebody always does.
Yeah, there'll be someone that tries it, and it could be worth a try if you're out of position. They always say do something different, and that's the best way to get a gain. So we'll see who tries it and who it works for and who it doesn't.
Yeah, it's bound to go pear-shaped for somebody. That's what we like to see.
Noah Kitcher and Billy Van Beek doing battle there. Peter Vanderberg just behind as well, so this is a good little battle pack. Billy's just been able to get around Noah and open up already nearly half a second gap, so Billy's showing good pace. Noah just under a little bit of pressure at the moment with a few more cars all on that train looking to pounce, but Louis Robertson diving left and right trying to find a way around Leith Swinney.
Yeah, that's at least car's a classic example of the work of BJ too. Why that's on screen. Very very nice colour combo, stands out on track. Absolute fantastic paint job. Ooh, move there. Noah Kitcher gets around PVDB.
No, Peter had a look at Noah and wasn't able to get the job done.
Oh, right. I was too focused on that sweet orange paint job, clearly. Bit of battle though going on, and this is the battle for P7 if you include Billy just up in front. He's put a wee bit of gap there now. Obviously, Noah having to defend a little bit with Peter Vanderberg hanging around. Just noticed it again in the background, Lou Robertson having another look. So Brett O'Keefe here still on the back of Sean McNamara.
Yeah, putting the pressure on, and not long to go in this race, about 2.5 minutes remaining, so we'll probably get 2 or 3 more laps out of this one. BJ really closing in, hasn't been able to find a way around yet, but he's looking racy, he's looking like he's keen to put his OKMS McLaren ahead of that Jigsaw McLaren.
Yeah, there's a few McLarens out there, isn't there? That's good to see. Second place Titus Ventura in a Acura, and Daniel Hedershot in 6th in a Ferrari. And then you've got a $2 mixture behind. Blake Greenhill on a BMW and Hugo Allen in a Lambo. Peter Vanderberg has gone off, so that battle with Noah Kitcher. Oh, and a very poor rejoin.
Yeah, he's lost the front bumper, he's got heavy damage to the front left. Looks like he's going to try and limp it back, but that front left is not attached to much.
Yeah,
still just holding on there, and he does tow back to the pits in the end. So we can have a look at what happened to Peter. Also, that's just the very end of it. We need to go back a little bit further, even further than that. Even further than that. We'll get there eventually. Oh. This might be it here. Here we go. So, comes out of Druids, running into the grass. Then probably just dirty tyres, loses it under brakes. Oh, yeah, that's not ideal. And
Brodie Scott was the other car involved in heavy damage on that Mercedes.
Yeah, so Peter hasn't done a good job on the rejoin, unfortunately, and that's disappointing because Peter's a very fair driver and he will be disappointed in himself with that rejoin because that was not good. A couple of Gamma Flare cars in close quarters, and Titus Venter's actually been able to get around his teammate, I think. Nico's been P2 for the bulk of this race, but now Titus Venter has got ahead of him, and I'm wondering.
I think he's been there for a wee while.
Okay. Oh, actually, we've got checkered flag. Just managed to catch that. Saw the checkered flag pop up on my data and managed to just jump to Stefan McCartan in time to see him coming across the line and claiming the win. So well done, Stefan. Nearly 8 seconds back to Titus Venter. He takes P2 from Nico Cordia. Another 2-3 for Gamma Flare tonight. Sean McNamara manages to get back to where he started, finishing P4. Brett O'Keefe, our Raceweek sponsor, up to P5. He'll take the reverse grid pole. We moved up 4 spots from where he started. Daniel Hedershot and Hugo Allen 6th and 7th. Blake Greenhill 8th. Those guys have already returned back to the pits. As has Adam Hughes in 9th and Billy Van Beek in 10th. Noah Kitchen came home 11th. Leith Swinney has returned to the pits in 12th. Louis Robinson 13th. Jaco Venter 14th. Jonathan Turner 15th. Chris Zalewski 16th. Andrew Goodrick was 17th. Andre Elliott 18th. Pete Rockmits 19th. Heath Mann 20th. Wayne Hartnell 21st as he comes across the line now. Dan Nolan just behind in 22nd. Tom McCall 23rd. Dan Turner 24th. Steve Darren 25th. Good little battle pack there, racing to the line in that one. Alan Scott just gets there 26th ahead of Kristen Jenkins in 27th. And that will do us for race one. So we move into our warm-up period and some very exciting racing out there, but dominated by Stephen McCartan in that one, but he'll have to do it from 5th in the feature. I learned an interesting fact about Brands Hatch today as well. It's actually featured as a stand-in for a few different F1 tracks in the new F1 movie. So they dressed up some of the curbs and signage around various points of the track to replicate similar parts of Spa and Monza in the F1 movie.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't managed to watch that movie yet.
It's actually a very good watch, I have to say. If you go into it with the expectation that it is a Hollywood production and there are going to be certain things that aren't necessarily accurate to the things we know about motor racing and Formula One in particular, um, it is a good story and a good watch.
All right, I'll take your word for that, Shana. There are a number of good motorsport movies out there. Maybe let us know in the comments yours. I'd have to say Rush was a good one. I quite
Oh yeah, I
enjoyed that.
love Rush.
You can't go past Gone in 60 Seconds for a car movie though, can you?
Oh, that's a great movie.
So thank you to Barry and the team at MRP for sponsoring the broadcasting, well, the MRP GT3 series for what feels like forever. Hey Shano, absolutely awesome to have them back at mrpsimracing.co.nz. You can head there and check out a wide range of track racer products and lots of other awesome stuff. And even if you're into 4AGEs, Barry can help you out with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Barry and the team at MRP have you sorted, and get over there and check out their full range. Including this motion sim. That is very much kid in a candy store type of stuff, isn't it, Corey?
Yeah, if only they could hear our conversation. We can only dream. And yeah, having one of those in my lounge, I'd be pretty stoked.
Absolutely. And if you want to know where to get that, well, MRP. They can sort you out. It's going to cost you a pretty penny, but very much that sim and all the gear to run it can be purchased through MRP. So hit up Barry and the team there, and they'll sort you out. Nico Cordia just put it in the comments there. He's driving with a broken load cell, cracked during practice last night. I think, Nico, you definitely need to hit up Barry. Get yourself a new set of pedals.
Yeah, definitely. 8 stockers of Cube track racer.
James McKenzie out there getting some practice in. He's the only guy that's put a time in in the warm-up, and we're about to run out of time in the warm-up and get ready to line them up on the grid for the second race.
Absolutely, how good. And who was going to be off pole?
We can see in a few
Oh,
moments.
BJ. A weekly sponsor. Nobody take him out, please.
Yes, so it is BJ lining up on pole position there alongside Sean McNamara. Nico Cordier and Tinnis Venter are going to make up the second row with Stephen McCartan there in P5 alongside Daniel Heddershide. Hugo Allen and Blake Greenhill make up the fourth row. Then we've got Adam Hughes, Billy Van Beek rounds out the top 10 before we roll back to Noah Kitchen, Leith Swinney, Louis Robertson, Jaco Venter, Jonathan Turner, Chris Zalewski, Aaron Goodrick, Andre Elliott, Pete Rotmitz, Heath Mahon, Wayne Hartnell, Dan Nolan, Thomas McCall, Dan Turner, Steve Darren, Alan Scott, Kristen Jenkins, James McKenzie, Bill Kilgour, Peter Vanderberg, Brodie Scott, Kevin DeFunterim, and then off the bat we've got Dylan Radford and Jake O'Rourke, but I think Jake unfortunately didn't start that first race, so I don't think we're going to see him in this second one either, as we are rolling away behind the pace car now. Brett O'Keefe is going to be in control of the race start in this second race.
Yeah, he's going to put his head down, knowing him. Stefan McCartan's only going to have a few cars to get through to get up to that far, so obviously race winner in the first race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Stefan's approach here. Does he go all out and try and make the spots early, or does he look to survive the early stages, wait for it to settle down, and then work his way through?
Or you could just keep your nose clean. That's what you want.
Absolutely, we're going to find out in a moment, and BJ has gone early. We're green for race 2, and BJ taking the early lead as they all fire down in towards turn 1 for the first time. Looks like everybody holding position in the top few spots at the moment. Oh, Blake Greenhill had contact. I think that was a Gamma Flare car on the inside. Blake dropping right back. Blake's in the grip. Oh, he's launched it back out in front of Jake O'Rourke. Actually has started the race from... No, sorry, that was...
Yes, there was a big accident here with Heath Mann, and I didn't catch who the other car was. I think possibly it was Thinis Venter. He has towed back to the pits.
Yeah, a lot going on there, and I think it was Daniel Heddershide that almost got tangled up with Blake as he rejoined there. I think something had happened to Daniel that put him back initially before that as well. Changes at the front. Here go. Oh, Stefan McCartan in the Armco. Looked like he just grazed the Armco. He's managed to limit the damage on that car, but that bonnet is creased up, and there's a knock-on that's gone on there as well. Nico Cordier off the track there. I didn't see who that was that fired off to the left as Stefan was rejoining. We've got Dylan Radford and Dan Turner off the track here. It is all popping off on lap 1 in the feature race.
Look at that kitty litter all the way through the grass.
Absolutely. And all over the track there at the hairpin where Blake brought it back on. Brett O'Keefe is away and laughing at the moment. 3.3 seconds over Hugo Allen with all the chaos that's been unfolding behind him.
Yeah, those two are familiar with each other too. They had a good run at the Bathurst 12 Hour, Hugo Allen and BJ O'Keefe in the same car. So he's gonna hunt him down, isn't he, Hugo? Jaco Venter, he's up 11 spots into P3, so he's had an absolute blinder first couple of laps.
Yeah, he's taken full advantage of all the chaos. I do wonder, because I'm sure it was a Gamma Flare car that was tangled up with Blake at the hairpin there, and I know Nico and Tinnis were starting in the top 5. I've got a
It might have
feeling
been Adam
Yako might have
Hughes.
been.
It was a BMW that tagged with Blake. I think it's Adam Hughes.
Yes,
He's
you
a
might be
Gamma
right there.
Flare.
Yeah.
He's down 4 spots. Well, he's just got round Dan Nolan, who's up 9 spots. There's a lot of green and there's a lot of red.
Yeah, there's
Pete
been.
Rothman's coming into the pits. Maybe damage.
Yeah, probably a touch early to be. Oh, yeah, he's dragging that car, and he's actually missed the box. Ends up apart at a very unusual angle, but it looks like the crew are able to go to work on that now, and he'll get the fast repair and get back out there. Lou Robertson putting some pressure on Leith Swinney there.
I think that's a carry on from the first race too. He was behind Leith and giving it his all to get around.
Yeah, looks like the battle is spanning across the 2 races on that one.
Well, a pair of them up 7 spots each, so they've been following each other through the field so far.
So we've got plenty to try and unpack from that first lap. So we had Billy Van Beek going off track, and this was actually just in behind the Blake Greenhill moment with, I think it was Adam Hughes there, so looks like it was a reaction to that, so we can pick up this moment there. Adam was on the inside, looked to me like he had the front wheel up far enough, and I think Blake just didn't quite register that he was there, and then came back on, and
Oh,
the
it's 9
Ferrari,
o'clock. I'll be back.
copy that. So Steve Darren had a crash as well while all this was going on. Oh, bit of a check up there. That was interesting. And then we had Tinnis Venter possibly getting tangled up with Billy Van Beek. Also, Tinnis loses it by himself. Oh, and then the Castrol car. No, so this is. So Billy had to go off to avoid Blake. We had Heath Martin going off. He was the Castrol car that had to take evasive action here with Tinnis Venter. No, sorry, loses it himself. Yeah, so we can catch that one again, just trying to unpick exactly what was going on. So, so I think that was Louis getting loose. No, sorry, Dan Nolan getting loose and tagging the rear of Heath Martin on that one, unfortunately. So that was just an unfortunate moment. Tinnis Venter went around there, we saw that. Daniel Heddershide had a crash. Looks like he was all by himself on that one, although this was as Blake came back on.
You had to avoid cars everywhere, Shane.
Absolutely. So that looks like most of what went down on lap 1, well, that's part of lap 1, but then we had Stephen McCartan. Oh, so there was a lose. Was that Sean ahead going off, and then just the check-up of everybody reacting to that, and that saw Stephen McCartan in the wall, that saw Nico Cordier going off.
Yeah, there was McLarens going off everywhere.
Absolutely. And what it's left us with is Brett O'Keefe, our race week sponsor, out in the lead, continuing to hold a 3-second margin over Hugo Allen. So BJ showing good pace. Hugo receiving some pressure from Jaco Venter at the moment. So the hot battle on track currently is for P2.
Yeah,
Sean
both
McNamara.
Hugo and Jaco were a little bit quicker than BJ that last lap.
Yeah, so they're slowly reeling the gap in, but BJ doing a good job. Sean McNamara sitting in P4, down 2 spots. I want to choose my words carefully because I don't want to say he caused all that chaos, but I guess he set off all that chaos with his little mistake. He certainly wouldn't say any of it was his fault. He just went off, and then the chain reaction to that resulted in all that chaos.
Well, when you watch this back later, Sean, I'm blaming you. How's that?
Jaco gets alongside Hugo now, so this is all going to be helping BJ. It's going to be helping Sean as well, as he's able to come a little bit closer to the back of these guys. Hugo holding him off for the time being, but Jaco getting the overlap on the straight here, gets down the inside. He'll run wide though. Hugo goes for the undercut and gets him back. This is good, hard racing. And Sean McNamara will be watering at the mouth watching this, thinking he could pick up an opportunity here.
Yeah, a little bit of chatter over the radio. I didn't quite catch what Jaco said, but you'd look out for that guy behind us.
And that guy behind them is getting closer and closer and looking to see if he can pounce. And if he gets an opportunity,
have a touch or something, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that one opportunity is all you need.
One shot, one opportunity, he will seize it.
Don't get us sued.
Leith Swinney in the pits. Is this a scheduled stop? Trying to get out of traffic potentially. 10 minutes in, 15 minutes remaining. So we got through a 15-minute race. So that would tell us we're in the window to get home. So I think this is Leith Swinney and Stefan McCartan also taking the opportunity to get out of traffic, get that fuel they need. In Stefan's case, he'll take a fast repair as well. Doesn't look like he's taken tyres, doesn't go up on the jacks, and he sets off with that fuel that he needs now and gets himself out of that traffic. He's actually going to end up coming out just behind James McKenzie there, but once he gets around him, he has got a bit of space in front of him, and he can look to use the pace that we know he has and take advantage. And there's contact there. Hugo Allen goes around again, cut live straight to the contact. How good was that? But not good for Hugo. He's dropped a couple of spots there. Did make the wall, but not too much damage, and he can come to the pits when he gets around and get a fast repair if he feels like that's holding him back at all. But not what he was hoping for there. But Sean McNamara moves into P2. Looks like Jaco Venter is, I was going to say attempting to redress, but actually he's facing the wrong way on the side of the track. He's dropped back well behind Hugo Allen. Just managed to get clear of the oncoming cars as he came back across there. Pit lane's starting to get very busy. Jonathan Turner, Tom McCall and Chris Zalewski all in the lane now. But Sean McNamara up into P2 with that contact, and 5 seconds in front and behind. Good bit of clear air. What he will need to be wary of is the fact that we have got some quick guys that were buried in the pack that have made those early stops and will be looking to make ground. So it's a hard one for the likes of Sean and BJ though, because they've got clear air now. They can take advantage of that, and they probably don't want to rush to get to the pits.
No, what have we got for pit lane transition times?
got that up on the screen there, so looks to be around that 30-second mark or just under. So far noted in 27.9.
Your Leaf, the first that is pitted, is 28 seconds behind the lead. So at the moment, I'd say he's in a fairly decent position to nab a little undercut. Oh, my data disappeared.
Well, that's not ideal.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so Stefan on the 30-second number is right there. It is worth noting that you don't quite lose that amount of time when you take a pit stop, because obviously you do still cover some ground in that time. So I would estimate it at being around maybe 25 seconds that you would lose in the lane. That's just a very, very rough estimate.
Yeah, I suppose the longer you go to, the less fuel you're going to have to take on to get home, so the shorter the time stopped in your pit bay.
Well, I'd imagine they all need the same amount of fuel regardless of how far they go, unless they're managing to save some fuel out there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, being in first, as you can, fuel save.
That's right, and just being smooth and having the ability to just set smooth, consistent lap times is an advantage in that. You can make sure you're not spinning up the wheels, and I'm sure BJ will be focusing on that at the moment and trying to keep up that pace while minimising his fuel use, and hopefully minimise his stop time when he does come into the pits.
Yeah, definitely want to have your fuel numbers punched in ready, don't you? You got to plan your pit stops, otherwise it can get out of hand.
Yeah, that's right. iRacing does have an auto fuel feature now, but there can be little discrepancies with the accuracy of that depending on what you're doing. So if you are saving fuel, you do have to be careful to make sure it gives you enough to not have to then continue saving after the pit stop. Krystolewski and Noah Kitchen have both stopped, and they are close together on track at the moment. Sorry, Noah Kitcher, not Kitchen. I keep seeing that R as an N.
Yeah, I hear it. I'm like, no, that's my name. Well, it's always good to have a kitchen in the comms box, you know?
Absolutely.
What cracks me up is, how do you spell that? I'm like, well, I'm just, there's one in every house. Normally gets a laugh like that. Anyway, that's enough of the dad jokes. Less than 10 minutes to go, Shane.
Yeah, we're running through this one already. GT just climbing up into P8 as a few more people take their stops. He's up 7 spots from where he started, so I think the early stop working well for him. Also Tom Nicole up 14 spots. Doing a great job at the moment and potentially on track to gain a few more, as we've still got 5 guys at the top of the order yet to take their stop.
Yeah, a bit of the mid-pack going in the lane at the moment. Yeah, Scotty's right. He's just put in the comments there. And it won't generate enough pace staying out to cover the extra fuel needed. Definitely undercut always when no tyres are involved. I think that's pretty spot on, as we see the front runners coming down the lane now.
Yes, I was thinking we must be pretty close to that time, and the last guys are now in the lane. BJ gets out and back on track, and looks like he's going to hold on to that lead. Leith Swinney jumps up into P2 now. Stefan McCartan into P3, so those guys early stopping, that has paid off for them.
Yeah, I suppose that advantage to BJ having clear air. Oh, we almost had a lid skid. James McKenzie. He was up on his side. I almost got excited. I really do get behind lid skids, if you hadn't noticed. Well, your replay worth looking at. That was fairly close to going over. Would have made my night.
Certainly brought a ton of gravel back on track as he rejoined there. We can pick up the replay here. So he's side by side with the Team West Porsche. Oh, just dug into the gravel, didn't it? And was so close to going over, as you say.
Yeah, there was a good couple of lid skids in the on the THD Sim Sports Productions Tuesday night production, that's for sure. TCR cars around here on the roof. Well, yep. BJ is he's got a few lapped cars he's going to lap when he gets to them, if he does. Well, let's say he will, won't he?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to, and this could be quite awkward because they are in a very heated battle. Jaco Venter, Tinnis Venter and Alan Scott all going at it hard, and BJ arrives on the scene now and gets around Alan, but he's got the two Venters just up ahead who are doing battle as well.
Right. If you watch this back, Nico, let us know. Are they brothers, or is it father and son? Yeah, let us know what the connection is there with the Venters.
Yeah, I would certainly be keen to know what their relationship is.
It is something cool through the league. You got the Heddershides, the father and son.
Yeah, we got.
You've got one. Yeah,
got Nick and Taylor Mitchell.
Yeah, that was the next one I had in my mind. We did used to have a Bill Kilgar and his son used to race with us. I think he gave his son to Dad, and I can't even remember his name. Ooh, yeah, that was a little tight.
Yeah, so that was Alan Scott and James McKenzie going off as Stefan and Leith came up on them, and Stefan did just manage to make his way around Leith as we were talking there into P2. He's got 5.5 seconds to catch Brett O'Keefe now, and just under 5 minutes to try and do so. So it's going to take a few pretty quick laps to get there. We know BJ's got plenty of pace himself. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, well, the fastest lap of the race been put down by Stefan McCartan. It was a couple of laps ago in a 1:21.577. So his last lap, a 1:22.694. BJ, a 1:23.573. So he is tracking. A little bit of traffic in the way at the moment, but he is tracking.
Interestingly, Sean McNamara has just done the fastest first sector of anybody in the race.
He's lost a bit of ground, down in 15th position at the moment too, so down 13 spots from where he started off the front row.
Went a little bit wide there too, yeah, so he was tracking alright before the pit stops, but not going right in the stop for him. I wonder if he took tyres.
Looks like be the ultimate sin.
Oh, you know what? Most people for their time stopped in the box around 7, 8, 9 seconds. Sean McNamara 48 seconds.
Yeah, and Hugo Allen as well. So maybe a speeding in the pits.
Yeah, that was what I was hinting at there. Was 40 seconds longer than what seems to be the average time out there, and that would suggest to me that they've picked up pit lane speeding penalty there to hold in the box for an extra 40 seconds, and that is an absolute race killer, isn't it?
It is. I'm just catching a look at the incident points now. Of course, 15 incident points and you get a drive through, and I'm going to tell you 5 drivers have exceeded that limit, or 4 on the cusp.
Well, so a few people having to take an extra tour of the lane already, and some are very close to it. They'll be hoping they can hold on in the last couple of minutes now, as we are not too far away from the end. That gap at the front, Stefan's got that down to just under 3 seconds. Looking like he might be coming up just a little bit short on that one.
Yeah, well, we're going to get a couple more laps out of it. I mean, it only takes one mistake too, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just coming up to 2 minutes to go, and BJ is just starting another lap now, so he's actually not too far ahead of this group. No, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong number. He's about a third of the way through his current lap. So yeah, looks like probably this one and then one more, I'd say.
Yeah, just got to keep your head down and not look in your mirrors and just not look at your relative at the moment, isn't it? It's just try and keep going.
Yeah, that's it. If you're watching the time come down on your relative, that can be very much a negative in the sense that it just makes you keep thinking about that and thinking about the pressure. And the best thing you can do is actually almost turn that off and just, as you say, just focus on hitting your markers, doing the best laps you can do, because that's going to be the best way to try and minimise that time loss and stay in front.
Absolutely, yeah. It's all in your head sometimes, isn't it? So like, it's if you get pole position, that start is always harder, isn't it? You've got more pressure on you to make sure you get a better start than everybody else. Hey, Shane.
Yeah, and then you end up overthinking it and going, I'm gonna go a little bit conservative on the clutch bite point to try and not spin the wheels, and then you end up overslipping the clutch and going nowhere.
Yes, I did exactly what you did. Oh, actually, no, I didn't. I actually got a start, but I got to turn 2 at Road Atlanta in an official V8 race back in 2021, and I absolutely made a mirror of it at the top of the hill. You know, that right-hander before you start going down the hill. Well, I'd made it, yeah, I'd absolutely shafted that and slid sideways across the track and into the wall. So, and that started off pole.
Yep, pressure can be absolutely brutal sometimes, unfortunately. You've done all the right things to put yourself in that position, and then you just do something stupid and let it all go. But BJ hasn't done anything stupid so far.
But Stefan, that is in car with Stefan, and that is BJ O'Keefe. So he's going to come across the line and take a victory. He's going to be ecstatic.
Yeah, Race Week sponsor BJ O'Keefe takes the win. Well done, Stefan McCartan. Good recovery drive, not quite enough to get BJ in the end there. He was just over half a second behind in P2. Leith Swinney rounds out the podium in P3. Jonathan Turner P4. Adam Hughes in 5th. Louis Robertson 6th. Tom McCall 7th. Nico Cordia 8th. Wayne Hartnell 9th. Steve Darren rounds out the top 10. Good drive from him, up 15 spots. Noah Kitcher finishes where he started in P11. I managed to pronounce the R as an R there. Chris Zalewski P12 there. Peter Vanderberg up 17 spots to finish in P13. Hugo Allen 14th. Sean McNamara 15th. Billy Van Beek 16th. Andre Elliott 17th. Dan Nolan 18th. When he gets to the line, coming down now and comes across the line to make 18th official. Bill Kilgour 19th. Dan Turner flashing the lights as he comes across in 20th. Kristen Jenkins running 21st. Last car on the lead lap, so as long as he makes it to the line, he will hold on to that. And comes across the line and finishing off the lead lap, we had Alan Scott, Kevin DeFinterim, Blake Greenhill, James McKenzie, Pete Rotmans, Dennis Venter, Dylan Radford, Jakob Venter, and then looks like not finishing we had Aaron Goodrick, Brody Scott, Daniel Heddershire, Heath Mahan and Jack O'Rourke didn't start.
All right, well, we've already got third places in the Discord, so I'm going to bring Leith in, let you rock and start with the first one, eh? You got everyone across the line? Or am I jumping the gun here?
You know, we've got everybody across.
All right, here we go. So third place, Leith Swin.
Leith Swinney, P3 on the podium tonight. How was that?
A tough little track that, eh? Lack of passing opportunities is the problem with that track. It's hard work.
Well, you managed to make up 9 positions, so you can't have been too hard to pass.
Oh, driving angry helps, eh? No, it's good. It was good. And thanks to the main sponsor tonight, BJ O'Keefe, OKMS paints and signage, graphics. Legend.
Yeah, good to see him getting the win
Doing
tonight.
terrific.
Anybody you want to shout out, Leith?
Oh, Hunt for Good, main sponsor of my car. They do culling of deer and they give away the food to at-risk families.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations again on the podium.
How
Thanks,
cool
mate.
is that? That's really cool. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a not-for-profit. Just a bunch of mates, really, when it started. They go out hunting, and it's built up to they've got a farm that they go to, and they cull around a number of farms around that same area, and they take it all back to one spot, and they butcher it on the spot within their little campground, and they chill it up, and they give it out to food banks for distribution.
That is super awesome. That is real cool. And how do people can donate to that? Like, so they just go out and do the hunting. They don't really take anything from the outside.
They'll take cash, but it goes into equipment to support the hunts, gear. Health and safety is a big part of it, right? Because it's hunting, so all the health and safety gear. So you can go to huntforgood.co.nz and you can donate through that.
Awesome. Well done, Leith, on third spot. The undercut served you well.
Yep, awesome. Cheers, team.
All right. I don't know if we've got Stefan, but we've got BJ waiting for his yarn. So we'll bring him in first place.
BJ, Race Week sponsor and race winner. How good is that?
Yeah, not bad at all, eh? Didn't expect that.
Considering you were rushing home and got home at 8 p.m. our time.
Yeah.
What's that? 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock Perth time?
Yeah, it's nothing like last minute.
Hey, that's right. And that last lap or so of that last race there, you had Stefan running you down. How was that feeling?
Oh man, I made so many mistakes in that last lap, but we got there in the end, so that's good.
He did. He got a little bit closer than you were hoping to.
Yeah. I was fuel saving like hell in that first one, and then didn't really know how hard to push in the second stint, but that was good.
Now, did Sean talk to you about anything we were giving away?
Yeah, so I don't know how you guys want to run it, but happy to do a paint job for someone and some racing credits. So.
Yeah, or we could probably put a wheel together and spin it, I guess, couldn't we, Shane, just with the numbers?
Yeah, I think we should be able to manage that. We'll do finishing positions. So I think we had, looks like 29 finishes. So I can do something with that.
Yeah, sweet.
While you're doing that, so tell us, you managed to start off pole, so you finished fifth in the first race. And what were you thinking there? You had such a good start. You took off right out of that last corner, didn't you? And just went for that first corner and built up a 3-second gap pretty quick.
Yeah, I had a few things fall my way with the carnage at the start, and then obviously Hugo and is it Jacko falling off the track, which helped me a lot. But yeah, just sort of kept that gap and just sort of tried to save as much fuel as I could, and yeah, pitted whatever lap that was.
Lap 12.
Lap 12, yeah. But no, it was good. Car felt good.
Yeah, we did spend a little bit of time on that setup. As soon as you got home, you were straight in the sim. Of course, you do fly in, fly out, so you only get to race every second week.
Yeah, yep. But now working up to the Spa 24, so I think I learned a bit of a trick here, which hopefully correlates to the Spa setup.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. What's Mr. White doing?
Mr. White is setting up a wheel and just about got it ready.
I might watch the stream.
Yeah, it's this just foliage cam for Douglas. He loves to look at the foliage.
He does love a foliage cam, doesn't he?
He does, yes, yes.
And a helicopter cam when it's chasing the cars as well.
Yeah, that's Steve's helicopter too.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right, yeah. One of many, no doubt.
Alright, here we go. So, we've got 29 numbers up there. I've shuffled them all up and we can give that a spin. And it's going to give us a number there, and then we'll correlate that to a finishing position. It looks like it's going to be number 7.
I've got Briston Jenkins.
I've got Tom
Oh,
McCall.
7, sorry. I was reading 21. Don't worry, I was looking at the wrong play. Same team.
Yes, Tom McCall. Well done. Picking up a paint and, what did we say, $20 iRacing credits, was it, or $10?
20.
20.
20.
Yeah,
Yep.
how
There we go.
good.
And that is thanks to BJ and OKMS.
Cool. Well done, Tom.
Awesome.
So
Well
they-
done on getting that victory.
Yeah, thanks,
BJ?
mate. Cheers. Not what I expected coming in off flying in. Bit crook as well, so
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a bit of a cold coming on, so that Perth
Yeah.
winter is a bit chilly.
yeah, I got down to 15 today, so
Oh, no.
I know, right?
Well done,
Um,
mate, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks, no doubt, to stretch the legs again.
Yeah, bloody oath. Cheers, boys.
Cheers,
Awesome,
BJ.
there we go. BJ O'Keefe, race winner for the feature race tonight. Stefan McCartan in second. We didn't quite get to talk to him, but we did talk to Leith and learned something cool about some hunters doing some good. I love that.
Yeah, that was very cool. And big thanks to, again, OKMS for coming on as a Race Week sponsor this week. And thanks to them that we've been able to give away that paint and those iRacing credits. And big thanks, of course, to MRP, series sponsor for the GT3 series. Couldn't do it without the support of all our sponsors, so big thanks to those guys. And make sure if you're in the market for some paints, you go and hit up BJ, or some sim photos, go and hit up BJ at OKMS. And if you're in the market for any sim gear, go and hit up MRP. Big thanks to you, Corey, for joining me tonight.
Oh, absolutely. A pleasure, Shano. But before we go, I will bring up. So Tuesday, you can join us again on Tuesday, myself and Wayno for the V8s. Street circuit racing next week at Long Beach, and for the GT3s we head to Fuji, so that's going to be super fast as well. So also, again, make sure if you haven't, subscribe to our channel, because we would appreciate you immensely for that, and it'll help us get closer to a bigger number. But yeah, thanks to you, Shano. You did a great job on the cam today, catching some, coming back for some replays and catching a couple of bit of action straight off the bat. So well done on that.
Yeah, it was probably more luck than skill, but I'll take it. Big thanks, of course, to all our drivers for coming along and giving us a show. Thanks to iRacing for giving us the platform to go racing on. And thanks to everybody at home for tuning in. We will see you all next time.